What's going on, everybody? I tried to plan this all out right, and I had my little stream deck going, but apparently I got to do some kind of update because it wasn't working the way that it was supposed to. Anyways, man, welcome to the Mike Rock Show. We are working really, really hard to get this place to where we want it to be. That includes doing a lot of education and research and stuff on my part. But for the most part, we just want to be able to be here to kick it with you guys, to share real conversations and hope that you guys are at some point, whether it's now, whether it's later on, that you're just willing to engage. Because more than anything, and it isn't about engaging with me and making this grow. Anybody that has listened to me over the past couple of years, yes, I've been a work in progress, but my intentions have always been consistent. I want what's best for this country because for me, if we do what's best for this country, that means that when I die, when I leave this planet, that I've left a healthier environment for my kids. And that should be the goal for all of us, at least most of us who aren't selfish, who aren't thinking about just themselves all the time. We should want to leave this world a better place than when we were here. And we're not doing a really good job at that. So I've taken it upon myself to use whatever tools I have available to me, which for me is the podcast and using my web development skills to create a community and just to do some positive things with the blessings that I've received in my life as of late, man. So I want to welcome you guys to the show, and again, there's a lot of things that you guys can help me to do to get better at what I do. You can join us on our live streams, which we have limited. So we've limited our live streams to Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. That seems to be the easiest course of action for me, but at the same time, it's also the three places that we do live streams that we do get the most viewership. We do have the largest audience, even though the audience isn't that large. We're getting there, and then we'll just do. I've got software and stuff like that to basically take summarized points and just basically the main issues that we're dealing with in our live streams. I have software that kind of brings it together, puts it into reusable content that we'll be posting on X and a few other places, Instagram, things like that. Anyways, man, again, welcome to the show. If you guys haven't done so already, man, like and follow the stream. You can also join us in our communities over at righteous.com. Again, I could have made a separate community for you guys to support called Mikerock.com or support Mike Rock and make it all about me. But I wanted to do something that is about all of us, and the righteous community does that. It allows you to get engaged, it allows me to continue to be engaged. Not only can you support me, but if you've got a worthwhile goal that can help other people, you guys can become a part of our promoters community, our supporters community, where you can create your own group, your own page, and you guys can promote yourself from within there, get paid from within there if you have something of value to other people. Again, I don't, I can't say I have all the answers right now, but I know that the starting line for us has to be about uniting. It has to be about bringing us together, not just in conversation, but in the things that we do. And for me to do that, a way for me to do that is through the righteous community. You can support everything we do with the Mike Rock Show, any kind of clubs, any kind of events that we've got going on. You guys can support that over at righteous.com. I promise you that that community is going to grow. It's going to get better. We're going to have apps for Google and all that other kind of good stuff. But anyways, I want to get into the topic at hand right now. In fact, I need to share this with my stream. I keep sharing this information with my stream. It never seems to really go anywhere, and I know why that is. It doesn't go anywhere because you either people are afraid to talk, or some of them probably don't agree with what I have to say. But when I go back and I look at my videos, I always look for ways to improve things, get better at what I say and everything else. And I'm just gonna I don't think I don't believe that I am delivering a message in a way that people can't understand. I think that there's a lot of logic and common sense in the things that I say. And even if I'm not 100% right, I think a lot of people can listen to the message and know that that I am trying to move in the right direction, not just with myself, but with what's going on in the world. That starts with my intentions being pure. I want real answers to what's going on in the world. I don't want to be a puppet. I don't want to be a follower. I want to be able to have my own opinions about things because that's how the world grows. We admit to the mistakes that we make and we grow from them. And we can't do that when everybody feels that they just have to be right. And most of our arguments isn't about what's actually right. It's about our versions of being right. And when that doesn't happen, when the truth isn't on our side, instead of just listening and being able to grow from those mistakes, we want to attack a person's character. We want to make them look like idiots. So that the tactic behind that is if we can make them look like idiots, then most people aren't going to listen to what they have to say after that. And I am going to be busting my ass to get past that narrative. I don't care where the information came from. It could have come from Hitler himself. It could have come from the devil himself. I may not appreciate the person that information came from, but at the end of the day, was it true? Is what they had to say, was there truth in that information? Now, regardless of the motive, regardless of the ulterior motive, regardless of the incentive for why that person said what they said, is there evidence to support their questioning? Is there evidence to support the information that they delivered? We can still deal with the end of how horrible of a person that they are, but at the same time, if the information they delivered is relevant and has an impact on how we're living our lives, then we need to address that. We need to be willing to open up our minds and get answers to a lot of these questions that some of these streamers and these influencers, and I would love to say some of our politicians, but until I see otherwise, I just have to believe that most of our government from both the left and the right are only concerned about themselves, are only concerned about their positions in power, and at the end of the day, they only pretend to give a shit about the rest of us. Because whenever we hear them say the economy has improved, I, I I don't know about you, but some of us from the middle to the lower class, we're not feeling those results. And then they turn around and they tell us, well, you just have to wait. It trickles down. I get that. But why are we living in a world where, like, if we have to make sacrifice, why are we the only ones making sacrifices? Why do the people in power and the people that have money in their pockets and can afford to tolerate a lot of the nonsense that's going on in our government, why are they also the first to feel the rewards of everything that's going on? We're the backbone behind everything behind the power in this country, but yet we're the last to feel the effects, the last to feel the benefits and the rewards of the changes that are coming from everything from gas prices to inflation to whatever's going on with the Iranian war. Like we're the first to struggle and the last to benefit, and nobody's addressing those issues. And when people try to address those issues, we've got the people who are in control of the media, which is in control of the influence. We've got the government, which we put into power, that then turns around and starts doing things that we did not vote them in for. They're what they campaigned for, basically, and what they delivered. A lot of times turns out to be two totally separate things, and it's just not right for the people. And that just kind of brought me to the conclusion that you guys can keep buying into this bullshit. And I mean, the whole point of my show is that we're allergic to bullshit and what's going on in our government right now. It's bullshit. They're selling us bullshit, but because people are loyal to the MAGA cult movement, or they're loyal to woke policies and woke agendas, they can't admit that there can be certain things within what they believe that are just wrong. It's just wrong. And I flip-flopped because of a lot of those inconsistencies. I did. I grew up a Democrat because that's the way that my mom basically told me that we were supposed to be. I didn't know about people like, what was it? It was Teddy Roosevelt, who basically manipulated us and literally told us to our face, told black people to their face that I will have you voting for us. I'm not going to put certain words out there, but I'll have you voting for us for the next hundred something years, 200 years, basically by manipulating us, and we bit into that shit. And now all of a sudden the majority of the black community feels like they have to vote Democrat just because. It- it- There's so much nonsense going on in the world right now, and it's going to continue to get worse until we choose to make it better. We can't trust the government to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. And there's certain sacrifices that in the end we're going to have to make that a lot of people they're just not willing to do. You know, you gotta stop supporting those companies that don't that decide to get political and they wanna sit there and put and throw shit in our face that we don't support and we don't believe in. It's as easy as not giving them our money because that's what matters to them more than anything else. That's why they steal taxpayer dollars. That's why they overcharge for shit that they don't have to overcharge for because they're going to gouge us for every last dime that they can get. And when they can't get any more, they figure out a way to change the game to get money from us and from somewhere else. That's the game that they play, and we continuously bite into that shit. But anyways, that's the whole point of what we're doing here with the Mike Rock Show and the righteous community. I want to give it to you guys as real as humanly possible. I understand people aren't going to want to agree with me because you're still a part of that whatever cult movement that you belong to. You can't think for yourself. You can't understand that it is okay to agree, to disagree sometimes. And if I'm wrong, at least I'm trying. At least I'm trying. And I need to, you know what, before I go any further, man, I want to put this on my stream because they're the ones that basically try to ignore me the most. And I don't know if it's because they feel like they want that we're gonna ruin a friendship or some other crap. I don't know. I don't care. But I'm still gonna continuously I'm just gonna put join me or don't. Don't give a shit. Um, there you go. I think I just shared it. That's literally what I just put on my post. Join me or don't. I don't give a shit. I don't care. But you know what we are going to talk about right now? I put up a video on everywhere. I put this video up everywhere, and it's a short. I do these shorts when I'm on my when I'm driving the trucks during the week, so that I can stay in contact with the audience. And then I'm trying to do a live stream on the days that I'm off. Unfortunately, that's the only thing I can't be consistent with because my days off have a tendency to change sometimes, and this is where my professional studio is at. So I can only stream during those days. Sorry, I got the hiccups because we did a little drinking earlier today. But anyways, I did this video and the video compared, and you got to understand my point. This video compared the differences that are going on in the world between reparations, how we're dealing with, reparations for the black community and anti-Semite, calling people anti-Semites, Nazis, and Holocaust deniers because of questions that we have within the Israeli government and the Jewish community happening today. Not nothing that happened in the past, but because we have questions for those communities and that government and and how their politics somehow seem to govern what's going on in our own country because we raise those questions, then all of a sudden instead of answering them because because they're supposed to have truth on their side, it's just easier for them to attack the characters of the people challenging those narratives and asking those questions. We can't be, according to what's going on in our government and the media and Israeli politics right now, we can't be America first if we aren't also Israeli first. And because some of us choose to challenge that, to ask why billions of dollars of taxpayer money is going to a foreign country and foreign interests instead of taking care of the homeless and the problems that we have right here in this country first. We get those the people who challenge that get labeled traitors and Nazis and anti-Semites and Holocaust deniers. Things that happened in the past, we want to connect them with those horrible atrocities that happened in the past so that we can hopefully silence them and not listen to the truth. So, in the process of me putting this up, what I said in the video, I never condoned reparations. I just don't condone reparations at the same time that I don't condone them weaponizing what's happened in the past to benefit people who were never a part of those events. Some people are still alive today that were part of the Holocaust. And, my hearts go out to everything that has ever happened to them. But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people but like Mark Levine and Ben Shapiro and all of and what's his name, Rabbi Shmuley, who are constantly in our face telling us why we need to be sensitive to the Israeli movement so that they can control what's going on here in this country, so that we can ignore certain allegations against the Israeli, not just the Israeli government, but things that are going on within the Jewish community that we deserve answers to. But because we're asking questions, again, they're screaming Holocaust denier, anti-Semite, when that's, like I said, that's basically calling me a traitor to this country because I have a problem with something that Trump might be doing in office right now. That's the beautiful thing about this country. We're allowed to ask questions, but we should be allowed to ask questions regardless of where you live, where you're from, or what government you show alliances to. Period. And if you have truth on your side, it really doesn't matter what questions we ask. You should be able to defend that truth no matter how many different ways they ask the same question. You don't have to change the answer because you're consistent with the truth. The only people attacking other people's characters, the only people who are who want to silence you from speaking your version of the truth are the people that don't believe, that they don't even believe their own shit right now. Period. So, anyways, get back to this video. Again, never once condoned reparations and didn't take the other side as well. My point had nothing to do with what's happened in the past. My point is why is anybody benefiting? Why is anybody benefiting from what they were never a part of, and why should people have to pay for things that they weren't a part of for the decisions and the wrongdoings and the crimes and the allegations against certain individuals that are happening today, for the actions that are being committed today, not yesterday. That was the point of my video. But instead of addressing that truth, we get stupid ass comments like, and I'm hoping that why isn't this working right now? I probably got to do an update. Hold on, let me see if this dumb shit's got some kind of, excuse my language. Is it gonna do it now? It still isn't doing it. It this these things really suck because you think you're up to date with shit, and then all of a sudden you're not. Let's see, is this where we need to go? Okay, here we go. So these are comments from the video that I posted. Instead of addressing the issue, they want to sit up here and say, this person, Deborah Miller. And Deborah, well, I don't care if you care if I used your name or not. You posted publicly. Because, and her response was, because people that survived the Holocaust are still alive. Oh, except the ones that didn't survive the attack on October 7th, 18 months ago. What a schmuck, referring to me. And I've been doing this long enough. I don't care about the little, oh, you're a schmuck, you're an asshole for bringing this up. I've come to expect it. In fact, my response to her was, so I understand, we're not supposed to question anything a Jewish person or the Israeli government does, right or wrong, simply because of what they or their ancestors went through. They now have a free pass to do whatever they want, and all they have to do is call people Nazis, anti Semites, and Holocaust deniers to execute that free pass, because that's the point I'm trying to make. Consistent with everything that I told you guys so far. Consistent. Now, because I raised that point, because they thought I was dumb and that I was just going to all of a sudden sympathize with whatever they had to say, although I guess I caught them off guard. They basically said that I was being disingenuous with my response. That is a disingenuous response to my answer. To clarify, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. You guys can go through it. You guys can read it for yourself. But what they start to do is they start to bring up all of these arguments about different things that happen to people today within the Jewish community, and they want to support an argument that they are still being persecuted um, for the same reasons that they were being persecuted in the past, and it's not the same. what's going on, like, there's some horrible things going on in the world today, but the reason why there's persecution within the Jewish community is the same reason why there's still persecution within the black communities, within the Iranian communities. Everywhere you go, there is persecution, but for some reason, we're supposed to show special interest and special treatment to the persecutions that are going on within the Jewish community because of what they went through in the past. In fact, some people even water down what happened with slavery and want to sit and tell you that what happened within the Jewish community we need to pay more attention to because it was a worse event. We need the special attention. Never mind what happened with slavery. Yeah, we get it. I get it. I agree with you. But slavery has happened all across the world. Black people sold their own people in order to become slaves and yada yada yada, but it doesn't stop the fact that it happened, and it doesn't stop the fact that the people that became slaves, they didn't ask to be slaves. So no, the atrocities that happen within slavery aren't as bad. I mean, excuse me, aren't any less worse, I should say, than what happened within the Holocaust because people died. You had more people that died within one event, granted, but still a lot of people died. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to play which one should take priority when it comes to history. Not at all. But then this person, like I said, wants to point all of these differences. So again, because my answer is consistent, I said back to them, did this already after I said, oh, I told them my response wasn't disingenuous at all. If anything, your responses only prove the original and only point that I was making. The point of my video that I created was to say that people are being called and connected with terms like Nazi, anti-Semitic, etc., for reasons that have nothing to do with actually being in any of those things. I never once spoke out against anything that happened during the times that Hitler and his Nazi demons were persecuting the Jewish people. I was simply stating that anytime someone questions what a Jewish person or the Israeli government does, even if they have evidence to support their questions, they're instantly labeled one of those terms in order to silence them. If you'd like to make a separate point about how badly the Jewish people were and still are being persecuted, maybe you should make your own video stressing that issue because, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, or Charlie Kirk ever had any intentions of setting Jewish people on fire or targeting them just because of their Jewish faith. If anyone is being disingenuous, I would say it's the person deflecting from the original point of the conversation or calling them a schmuck for raising a valid point. I'll say it again. I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what agendas you support. If you do something wrong or that appears to be wrong, people shouldn't be labeled or demonized for asking questions or challenging the narrative, which is exactly what you are doing now. And it won't go back again, and I don't know why. So, anyways, my whole point of every video that you will see me do, at the end of the day, I just want to bring the people together because I am tired of waiting for the government to answer the call. And again, I don't, is Trump trying to do some good? Maybe, but I lost respect for that man as my president when they decided to do this whole Epstein cover up. And people can say whatever they want. They can say it's just another conspiracy theory that we've concocted, which they do every time. It's another tactic they use. Everybody ask a legitimate question. If the Iranian war was not a distraction from what's going on with the Epstein list, and I ask you a one simple question, why are we no longer talking about the Epstein list? There are some horrible people, pedophiles, that are in positions of power that need to answer for their crimes. They need to be held accountable. And if that means tearing up this country, if that means tearing up the government and the politics around the rest of the world, then that's what needs to happen. I don't want to have to, let's improve the country first before we decide to or let's wait for these people to die or give them time to set their finances in order, whatever the case may be. Their victims didn't get that opportunity. And who knows what kind of things they're still doing to this day if they have that kind of mindset, if they have a pedophilic mindset. I don't even know if I said that right, to be honest. So what do? We release the Epstein files. A lot of drama starts to take place. We're starting to get answers. We want more. We want accountability, and then we go to war with Iran. It's not as if the government stopped working because we went to war with Iran. We're still dealing with this whole election. What is it? The Safe Act. We have no problems dealing with the Safe Act. We have no problems dealing with talking about other things that are going on within our country right now. But we've just miraculously stopped talking about the Epstein list. And you're going to tell me that that's a conspiracy theory, that it wasn't a distraction, that we didn't intentionally go to war so that people would stop talking about the Epstein list. Let me tell you how this worked and how it's been working. The government controls what the media says. That's how they stay in business. So when they decide, hey, we can't talk about this anymore, they go to the media and they tell you, we're going to give you a reason to stop talking about this over here. And that's exactly what they did. There's some of us that are not willing to let that die. I am a huge advocate for kids because kids cannot protect themselves. And if that means I got to go to war with the establishment, if I got to go to war with Big Pharma and these doctors that want to mutilate our kids, I don't care who we got to go to war with, the kids, they know the kids can't go to war for themselves. And that's the reason why they try to groom them and try to teach them to go in certain directions because these Democrats and these woke individuals and even some extremists on the right, they can't control. When they push things to a certain extreme, the people finally step up and say, enough is enough. We can't go for that anymore. So since they know they can't win right now, they're trying to create new rules and laws and policies that will groom our kids so that the decision will be easier for them in the future. And that's the reason why more and more people need to come together. And I'm going to end with this, for this, at least for this stream. Part with the righteous community, I really don't care if you want to give me a fake name, a fake username, whatever the case may be. You don't have to present yourself as exactly who you are. What I do care about more than anything else is that people are giving real opinions and real information about what's going on in the rest of the world so that we can start coming up with real solutions that we can create as a people in order to improve our situation in this country and hopefully across the world at the same time. I am more diehard America first right now than I have ever been in my entire life. And the reason for it is super simple. It doesn't we complicate every last thing that we do in this world. And the truth is there are a lot of things that we don't have to overcomplicate at all. I have been a single full-time father on and off for the past 20 years. There's nobody that I love more. There's no bigger weakness in my life than my own kids. And as much as I help, as much as I love helping other people, I will never take food out of my own kid's mouth in order to feed someone else. Their plates and their stomachs have to be full, and this is all an analogy, but they have to be full, and I have to have excess before I am willing to give that excess to other people in need. Every last thing that I do is meant to take care of my family first, and that means making better decisions for this country so that when I move on, they can start making better decisions for them. They at least have the opportunity to make better decisions for themselves because we left this world in a much better place than what was given to us. That's the plan. That's the goal. And that's how I feel with what's going on with our relationship with Israel right now and even Ukraine. Why are we giving them money that we really don't have? We've created all of this debts, and you can tell me that I don't understand politics enough, but what I do understand is that we have people suffering in this country, that we don't have enough jobs, that we can open up the oil refineries and things here in America to give more people jobs and things like that. But for whatever reason, we would rather go to war as a distraction to the Epstein files and steal someone else's. No, I don't. I'm 100% certain that I am not 100% right about what I just said. But what we do know is that is our government is the biggest liar on this planet. They tell us that they're giving us transparency, but the truth is they're giving us whatever crock of shit they feel like feeding us to this day. Everything they tell us is meant to protect something that they're doing. Give them just enough to keep them happy, but we can't trust them with the truth because if they knew the truth, they would also know just how corrupt we really are. That we're not in it for them, we are only in it for ourselves. And you guys can sit up there and hate me for speaking my version of the truth all you guys want to. I don't care. I really don't. But I'm not about to sit up here and continuously play the fool, know that my government is lying to me about every last thing that they say. But when they tell us some kind of new lie tomorrow, all of a sudden it's now the reason to start trusting them. It's now the reason they have never told me the truth, but I'm going to go ahead and disrespect my neighbor. I'm going to end that relationship with somebody because of a disagreement because my government told me to. I can't trust them for any other reason, but I'm going to trust them when I say that I don't need to have love for that individual because their politics are not the same as mine. That is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard in my life, man. I don't, like I said, it's just really hard for me to understand what's going on in the world today because we have lost all common sense and have replaced it with some of the most with the dumbest absurdities that I've ever seen in my life. And people know this shit is dumb. You can't tell me you don't know this shit is dumb. You choose not to speak about it. That's on you. Then you can't complain when bad shit happens and knowing that you could have at least tried to do something about it and you didn't. I went ahead and created an entire community to bring people together. I'm going to do, and this is not a brag, but I've been blessed. I have truly been blessed over the last couple of years of my life. And after this whole COVID situation, I have come out on top with all the blessings that I've received. I truly have. And I'm hoping that over time that I can return those blessings, that I can pay it forward and also help people in need. And I don't mean that's not giving people permission to come up to me and say, hey, you said you were going to help people and I'm somebody that needs help. Help me. That's not what I mean. I'm not going to sit up here and allow people to dictate what I do with my money and what I do with my blessings. But I'm going to pay it forward, and part of me paying it forward is making more and more people aware of the fact that you don't have to feed into the bullshit. And whatever you've got going on in your life, complaining is not going to fix your problems. You have to be willing to step up and do something about it. Like I said, complaining. I did a lot of complaining. A lot of you have seen my last shows when I was gaming, and I had some very emotional moments online a few times, but to be perfectly honest with you, I've received support from individuals who have cared enough, but it was never enough support to change my situation. I changed my situation because I stopped complaining and I started doing something about it. And a lot of the blessings that I've received, they weren't a part of the plan, but they improved the plan. They helped the plan to accelerate into the success story that I'm working towards today. And that's what so and that's what I'm hoping to help more and more people do. Stop complaining about what you don't have. Start working towards the shit that you want in life. Stop trusting people that you know are untrustworthy. You got a much bigger problem. For you people on the left, you have a much bigger problem than Trump. And you know that. You don't hate Trump because of things you think he did. You hate Trump because he doesn't support your woke ass agendas and everything else. But again, that really is a different story for a different time. Like again. I hope you guys stay here. I hope you guys want to sit here and grow with me. I got a I don't really I really don't have a game plan for where we're going to go just yet, but I do know that the only way I do know for a fact that the only way that we're going to be able to start making better decisions is when we start coming together. So however I have to do that to bring people together so that we can have fun and tell jokes and stop being so fucking sensitive about every last fucking thing that we hear. Excuse my language, but that when you hear me cussing, I'm you know that I'm passionate about whatever it is that I'm talking about. We have created sissies in this world. We have created victims with the policies and the laws that we have passed, and it's time for men to man up. You are dude, stop being pansy. I'm not saying don't get help when you need help, but I remember the day, and it's still the same for me. But you hear about all these programs. Hey, go out and get mental health. You know, if you're not feeling well, you should be able to, go get therapy. Dude, they're selling you shit. They're selling you shit all over again. Therapy, th- I believe that you get help when you need help. But I also remember when we used to actually have families that we trusted and that we loved, and that's where we got our therapy from. We opened up our hearts to the people we cared about, and they supported us, and we got the help. We got the answers. But look what's happened. We've turned into a world where they don't want us to have those supporting families anymore. They want us to go out and cheat on our wives and on our girlfriends. They want us to say bye-bye to relationships so that we have to follow them and depend on them for every last thing that we receive, including mental health. No. Stop cheating on your wife. Stop cheating on your husbands. Find a loyal family. Have kids. Build your own circles. Get that trust back into your relationship. Get that happiness back into your relationships. And that's all that's the therapy that you need. But they won't tell you that because they stop making money when they start telling you the truth. The truth, the truth isn't there's no profit in the truth. And that's the truth. There's no profit in it. Anyways, I have to get out of here, man. I love sitting here with you guys. I love spilling out my heart to you guys. I hope this message, even if you're not responding, I hope it resonates with you guys. And I promise you that we've got a lot more to come. This isn't just about a podcast for me. This is about spreading a message, about bringing people together. And that's why we have the Righteous Community. And I hope you guys join it. I hope you guys follow this channel. And I hope that we get to do some good and we make positive impact in you guys' lives. You guys have a great rest of your night. I'm going on the road tomorrow, so you guys will only be able to see the videos and stuff that I create when I have a chance because I get tired as shit driving for 11 hours at a time, man. If you guys ever have questions, we don't have any right now. Please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Once I start getting enough comments, we will make time at the end of our live streams to answer some of those questions. You can also join if you join the community, and I've left the links for you see a Sleek bio link. If you click on it, you'll see where you can join our community where you can support the Mikerock Show. If you do join the community, you will automatically be a part of the Mikerock Show, I believe, or you can join it. And you'll see a button at the top that says Ask Mike Rock. And if you, Gina, what's going on? If you join that community and you ask me questions, we will probably give away some merchandise for some of the best questions that we have the answer. But we will try to give a shout out to all of the new members. We'll try to answer a lot of your questions live on the stream. And we just want more and more people to get engaged, get involved, to let them know if the government isn't going to tell you, if the media isn't going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. You matter. Your voice matters. You just have to do the things you need to do to make it matter. You guys have a good night. Gina, have a good night. And I will talk to you guys again as soon as I possibly can, man. Good night. Peace.